I'm going to jump right into this video. And I'm going to tell you guys the truth on this topic, because I know for a fact it is not what a lot of you think. And I just can't stand how many people in this world, and how many good people in this world, will start to believe things about themselves that's not even true. And it is a disgrace. I'm telling you, man, nobody, and I mean nobody on earth, is born thinking negative things about themselves. Nobody is born with all this negative thinking and all these negative thinking patterns and all this stuff. You were born happy. You were born with self-confidence automatically. You were born believing. You were born with all these things. You were not born with all the negative. The negative stuff comes as you continue to live life, and society and people in general is going to try to limit you, limit your thinking. People's going to try to make you feel small. And that's where a lot of these things come. And I'm not going to lie, guys. I'm going to get into something right now that's real. And I'm going to tell you guys about like things that I went through myself. Because no matter how much shit that I ever went through in my life, there's nothing, and I mean nothing, that could take me away from myself. 100%. Like, there was always that peace in me that no matter what I went through, it was still there. And of course there was down times, of course there was hard times, of course there was emotional, frustrating times. But there was still that peace inside of me that I never once felt worthless. There's obviously times where I felt more down than others, but I never felt worthless. I never stopped believing in myself. And that's what it comes down to. You always have to know in your head who you are, and your gifts and your talents and your traits. And you cannot let people in society drag you away from yourself and make you believe things about yourself that's not even true, because that's where it comes from. That's where it comes from. It does not come from you. You were, like I said, you're not born thinking this way. You don't get brought up thinking this way. It can slowly start to happen to you over time. And if you let all these things fluster your internal, it can get to you. But if your own internal dialogue is strong enough, nothing can get in. Nothing. So I'm just going to tell you guys that the closest times that I've ever had to doubting myself is when I went through these harsh breakups with certain individuals. Certain friendships would come to expire. And I still never fully doubted myself in those times. I still had confidence. I still knew I was the shit in a certain way. But there are still things that can really have a negative impact on you to start making you question things. And I did question certain things because, man, people in this world are trash. There's some mean people in this world that will do nasty things to try to bring you down, because they can see you have self-confidence. They fear that. They fear your self-confidence. They literally fear it because they know you have something inside of you that is real. You have something inside of you that was killed in that other person. It destroyed them, and they can see that you are unbreakable. They see you still have that thing about you that is still inside of you, but they lost it. So these people, I'm telling you, man, they will say the cruelest, the meanest things ever. They'll say anything to try to bring you down, to make you below them. They'll do anything. They'll say anything. They'll attack who you are as a person. They'll try to make you believe you're not good enough. They'll attack anything they can. Any little flaw about yourself, and I guarantee you, you have a flaw. I have a flaw. There's flaws everybody has. There's something you could pick out on any single person in this entire world. And I mean anybody. Anybody could pick out something on somebody and just attack it to try to bring somebody down. Anybody can do it to anybody. And it's these types of people that do some shit like this. And they will try to bring you down. But you have to have that unbreakable spirit, and that's what I had. I have this mentality, guys, and I want you guys to have it as well, that like, you cannot beat me. You can't beat me. You can do whatever you want. You can go wherever you want. You can train with whoever you want. You can do whatever in the heck you want. You can't beat me. And you know why you can't beat me? It's because you can't break me. I'm still going to remain me. And you have to get good at being your best self. This is what it comes down to. You can't let anything fluster your internal dialogue. Nothing external, nothing internal should be strong enough. And there will be things. You will go through these times. You will go and have many tasks ahead. There will be many things that try to attack you, and it's never going to go away completely. But the stronger you become internally, the more none of that shit is going to get to you. So you got to continue to keep getting stronger and stronger and stronger, and stay away from these negative people, because they always got something to say. They're always going to try to get to you. They're always going to try to get inside of you to bring you down, because they already know you're above them in so many ways. They know you're better than them. They know that, which is why they do the things they do. It's not the reverse. Do you think confident people pick on people? Do you think confident people who are actually happy within themselves are picking on other people, bringing people down? Absolutely not. They're too focused. They're too happy already. They're too in the zone, doing whatever they're doing, focused on themselves, and they actually want to bring everybody else up. Not the opposite. So think about that. You can't let any of these muskrats that just come out of nowhere sometimes get you off your square. And like I said, the closest I ever was to doubting myself, to having negative thoughts, is when things would go really wrong with certain people in the past that I once loved and cared for, and I once believed they loved and cared for me. But an enemy can be very deceiving sometimes. People can not be the person you thought they were. And in my situation, when I was younger and more naive, this is what happened, and it's very painful. That's why you have to learn. You have to live life, and you have to learn a little bit. And you know, I only grew more and more self-confidence as time went on. And I feel as a kid, I always had it. I always had it, and I never let it get away from me, even through all the dirty situations I've been through with certain people in the past. Like, I never let them take me off my square. They did things that knocked me on my ass. They did things that it stung. It stung real bad. But I never once believed that, yep, I'm worthless. I never once said that in my life about myself. Never in my life did I ever sit there and think I am worthless. Nah. I always had that inside of myself, and I knew it. And I knew when these people would do me wrong, I'm literally just looking at them, seeing them for what they are, and I'm literally staring into their soulless being, and a poor excuse of a human being. I'm literally staring through them, thinking, you just wait and see. You just wait. Because it's coming, and your time's coming, and you're going to regret every single thing you've ever done, you ever did, ever. And you will be flat on your ass, and I'll be on top. It's the only thing I could ever think. And I feel the roughest times I ever went through, I was probably about 16, 17, 18-ish, and then things started looking up, and I still went through a lot of hard times over the years of, like, let's say 19 to 21 or 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and then things started really getting better. And that's because I never gave up on myself. That's because I did all the right things. I did all the right things. I made all the right sacrifices. I stayed away from all the wrong people. And I did what I knew in my heart I should have done. And that's what's going to work. What's not going to work is listening to all these absolute clowns. That's what's not going to work. They are much worse than you think they are. They should not be anywhere near you ever. You already made a mistake by being around those people, because you were in a position in life where you were literally forced to be around them to begin with. Like for me, obviously it comes with school, because you meet certain people, you get in with certain people, and it's like, I'm the type of guy, I will become friends with just about anybody, because I'm a peacemaker. I'm a nice guy in general, in person. I'm not going to go and start things with people, but I will finish things. If something starts, I will finish it. But I'm not going to go around creating enemies, doing this, doing that. I'm going to mind my own business. I'm going to stay who I am. I'm going to be confident. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be that stand-up guy. And that type of guy can sometimes get their kindness mistaken as weakness. And it happened to me, man. It happened to me. And even certain friends I was with, even certain relationships I was in, I still had a bunch of other friends in other groups, and I was always like friends with pretty much everybody. I didn't have one specific friends group. I didn't have one specific anything. I'm just was always an all-around guy. I understand people. I know people. And things like that, and I just made some wrong decisions and tolerated stuff I never should have, but I did it, and it taught me a lot, and it happened for a reason. It happened for me and not to me. So you can also gain confidence. You can gain experience out of every single situation you've ever been through in your entire life, and that's what you have to do. You can't let things get you down. You can't let things make you believe you're worthless. You can't be doing that. There's too many people out there doing that today. Why are you around these people still? I do not understand why people do this. But just know, and like I said at the start of this video, you were born happy. You were born believing. You were born believing you were going to do something great with your life. You were born smiling. You were born laughing. You were born under the right circumstances. And like I said, as things goes on, as life goes on, things can start to happen. But you have to be the stronger person in every situation and hold yourself accountable. Hold yourself accountable. Things are going to happen. Life is going to get real messy. People that you care for can die. People that you care for or think you love can abandon you. Things can just happen, man. You have to be prepared. And you always have to stay your best self no matter what happens. You got to be on your A game at all times. And you can't let things change you for the worst. You can't start to have all these negative patterns of beliefs and all these limiting beliefs that it's just going to come caving in on you. You can't have these things. And sometimes it can feel like the whole world is caving in on you. You have to burst out of that bubble. You just have to use your strength, your energy, your intelligence, and burst through everything. I was going through times in my life where I felt like the whole world was against me. Everything was not going my way, and that's because it's honestly true. It was like that at one point. But I stayed strong. I stayed a warrior. I ran the roads in the middle of the night when there's not one car on the road, No street lights, just pitch dark. Out of my parents' house, miles down the road. And I had this power and strength within myself that I can't even explain. I felt untouchable. My adrenaline was going through the roof. There could be an animal that literally pops out of the woods and tries to attack me. I'm running down the road just fearless. In the middle of the road too. But I can see when cars are coming, so don't worry about that. And there was no cars. There'd be the odd time where I'd get up far ahead enough where there's a street light or something like that, but it was a long road. No lights, but I knew where I was going because I travel the road every day. You know what I mean? So it's like, I just did ridiculous things by myself that I know 99% of people just do not do. Quote unquote normal people do not do shit like that. And that's just one thing out of 100 things, out of hundreds of things. That I just do that is just different. That's just unique. It's just that animal inside of me. My intuition, my instincts. I'm very different than a lot of people. I do things different than a lot of people. I think differently and more deeply than a lot of people. And I'm not willing to fall. It's the last thing I'm willing to do. So stand your ground. Always believe in yourself. And don't let the mutts of this world keep you down. I'll be back.